Hey guys, it's Lola, but you can call me Lola if you like.
Hi, this is Velisa, and you can call me Vels if you want. And this is the Everybody Hates HR podcast, episode 116.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, you wait.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Because I'm tired.
Yeah?
I had a long day.
Same. I've had the most productive day. Like one of the main client that I'm working on at the moment, my boss, my client counterpart, he's on holiday and he never takes holiday. And I'm just so free. Like, it's not even one of those ones where he's away, so I'm not doing anything. I'm actually doing more because I'm completely responsible for all the things that I don't have time. Because sometimes when you're delivering to C-suite, obviously what's on their agenda is the agenda for you. But when they're not around, you're like, okay, all these little housekeeping bits, all of these things, let me just get them done. And by the time he comes back, I will have all the updates and stuff for him. And also I have somebody in my team at one of my clients who, she's more junior than me, but she's also on leave. And really, she manages me. So she gave me a list of things which I'm covering her for. And I'm just like, by the time she comes back, I need this actually to be done. I don't want her to be disappointed in me. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing.
That's good. It sounds good. It does sound productive.
Yeah, it was so productive, and I love that.
Yeah, no, I'm just tired. I just feel like I've had a really long day.
Chinchin pissed on the floor, guys.
Oh my gosh, we should put that footage out.
That is it's actually, she pissed on the floor.
I thought someone died.
In my face.
Lola screamed. I thought someone died.
Anyway, Chinchin shouldn't be peeing on the floor. She knows better. And I think she did it in protest.
Yes, I agree.
Anyway.
She just wanted to be free.
Anyway, I'll put Chinchin's business in the streets. And I'm going to tell, Chinchin mugged the woman in the park. It's been a very stressful time. She's actually quite well behaved normally, but I've been trying to teach her how to be off the lead in the park. So I take Chicken with me. So it was in the park, and I took some chicken, and she was all fine. But then this lady in the park was like, "Oh, so cute." She called Chinchin over. The lady was eating chicken and chips with her boyfriend, and she had a wing in her hand. And Chinchin grabbed the wing and she ran, and I was mortified. And then I tried to get the wing back from Chinchin, but she's actually very fast. I don't want to give it back to the woman, but I didn't want to let her know that she'll be rewarded for such behavior. But then I couldn't because she's very fast. And the woman was very understanding, but I felt very bad. And Chinchin has pretty privilege because she's so cute that people just think, oh, she's cute, she's happy, but she actually needs to have manners.
Stealing a wing is wild, but anyway.
She mugged that lady.
Chinchin's grown up himself, so wings... chicken, grabbing it.
Literally, chicken and shit. And she got invited to her first birthday party. I don't even know if I'm going to go.
Why?
I don't know. It's Saturday, it's 11 a.m. I'm going to finish park run. I'm going to go back to the park.
Party. Yeah.
11 a.m. Dogs are meeting in the park for this birthday party, second birthday party.
It's lit. You don't want her to, be left out, and then
she goes to nursery or daycare or whatever. She's fine. She's got enough friends.
Yeah, but, still...
I'll see how I feel. And after she pissed on the floor, she's on punishment.
So, what's been going on?
There's a few things I actually want to talk about. One I found really interesting. So the World Economic Forum, they released a new report on the future of jobs. And it's actually I haven't even had time to fully go through the report and see, but there was so many interesting infographics and graphs and, pieces of information. And one of the things... was that basically they have surveyed obviously a loads of employers, and they've split them down by industry, and they've basically said right now and in the next 5 years, so between 2025 to 2030, what are the skills that are going to be most important to them and least important? And it's basically like a color-coded graph. And sometimes I'm like, I'll put it in, but I'm not even going to promise you guys that because I don't know how this edit's going to go. But it's very interesting to see which skills employers think are going to be very important and which ones are not. Some of it was as expected, but some of it I'm like, we actually need people we need different types of people in the workplace. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if people are really thinking about it in that way. So a couple of things. So this is the skills that they think will be most important between 2025 and 2030. So over the next 5 years. one of the, and it's like color coded. So the lighter the color, the less important. The darker the color, the more important they think it is. And I will put a picture in. I don't know how easy it'll be to read it. But basically, across all industries, one of the darkest colors is AI and big data. So I'm not surprised by that because we said it on the last episode, like AI, everyone just thinks AI. And there's like across all industries, it's like one of the biggest skills that they think they're going to be needing in the next 5 years. And it's quite crazy. Like some of this industries, obviously you'd understand. So like automotive and aerospace is giving it 100% score. But if you look at agriculture, forestry and fishing, I wouldn't have thought I guess AI has so many different applications, but they've given it a 65, which is still actually quite high. But most are in like the 80 plus region. Another one which gave it 100 was obviously telecommunications. And I can see how AI...
Yeah, of course. It's already doing this
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Yeah. Well or not. And like, even in professional services. And it's very interesting because I remember when I worked at Deloitte, I worked in the tax team. And even back then they were thinking about if there was going to be some sort of AI chatbot, which would enable people to get quality tax advice. But it was like they're a bit apprehensive about it because obviously you don't want to it has to be correct. To get the tax advice has to be correct because you don't want to have a product which is telling people the wrong things and not giving the nuance about how it should be applied. And I think application is the thing that AI will struggle with, Yeah. So that's the one that is like, it's very, 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 very dark. And then on the lighter side, I'm like, come on, like we actually need people to have lots of skills. One of the least important skills they think people will have is dependability and attention to detail.
That's
like
crazy.
It's got two, there's one that says 12, 0. Who gave it a 0? I need to know which industry it came out as a 0. Not energy and utilities. Wait, hold on. Let me just make sure that I'm not dragging the wrong people.
That's crazy.
Yeah, energy and utilities.
But it makes sense, to be fair, because people will just use AI to check the details.
No, but you still need people that have, like, you actually need a brain. You need to be able to, like, check that things are correct as well. And sometimes, obviously, it depends on the AI using. Sometimes ChatGPT is wrong.
Yeah,
like, I actually used ChatGPT recently to help me do a leveling exercise. And I had these level descriptors. And I said, based on these descriptors, level this role. Because I was, like, trying to see if it would work. And it did a bunch of roles and it was great. But they only had level 1 to 5. And one of it just spat out, it was like, it's a level 6. I said, there is no level 6. It said, oh, yes, you're right. There is no level 6. Like, you actually need people that have brains because until they make these, like, the AI, like, perfect and unbiased.
Yeah.
Like, you're actually going to... How can attention to attention to detail, how can it be so low?
I can see it being lower than it is now, though, based on the fact that people will use AI to help them with attention to detail, even if they still have to look over it afterwards. It's that time consuming thing of attention to detail is now gone. It's convenient, so I can actually see that.
Another one which was very low: reading, writing, and mathematics.
Again, makes sense.
No, it does not. We need to be able to read. We need to be able to write. And I'm not talking about penmanship. We're talking about like actually write good, clear, concise. I know ChatGPT can do it, but you actually need to be able to like look at something and know if that's appropriate. Do you know what I mean? You need to be able to try and get it to sound natural, and you need to know how to be a professional. ChatGPT can't tell you that. You can give it some information and then the right tone for your business, unless maybe they'll have these AI programs that are for specific business and you can tell it the tone that you want it to write your emails in or something. But you need to be able yourself to know, okay, if that's right. That's why people be sending me stupid messages and stupid cover letters because they don't have a natural tone of voice.
Yeah, I agree with you, but again, I can see how
reading, writing, and mathematics. It's even got negative numbers, like -6.
Yeah, because like already we have calculators. let alone a chat
but you need
GPT
to be able to use a calculator
or something else.
I did A-level maths, and I promise you a calculator won't help you. Like, there's obviously levels to it, but like you need to be able to know what to put into the calculator. It's like when you do those graduate like psychometric tests.
Yeah, but with AI you don't though.
Yeah,
like
but
you
the
can
maths is not hard, but the whole
you're giving boomer energy.
Listen, you need to be able to read and write.
You do need to be able to read and write, but it's like there's statistics now that say that children of school age don't necessarily know how to write, but they can type. And it's because even in the schools, they every kid gets an iPad to do their work. They get a tablet to do their work. They're not writing. So,
but even then, yeah, I don't even have as much of an issue with that. I still think it's important to know
even
how to
dictation, write. Like, do you know what I mean?
I even think it's important to know how to write, but I understand that that's still my point. Is like, I disagree that it's not a skill that you're going to need, like, because so let's say you're doing a redundancy calculation or I don't know, just anything. A lot of the time it's not about the maths, it's about knowing when to use the right logic and maths and judgment. Like that, and judgment and like you still need to know how to
do those things.
Do it in your head to make decisions. It's not every decision that you're going to be able to go to a program and be like, oh, these are all the variables, tell me the right decision to make.
You're right, but you'll need less. Like AI is there to basically do the skeletal work, yeah? And then the human will just like supervise, overview, fill in the gaps. But I think AI is going to do a majority of the work for them.
I can't imagine time in my life.
Not my job though.
I can't imagine time in my life where I would be happy to hire someone that reading, writing and arithmetic was not there. Like, they're not good at it. Like, not everyone has to be like a math genius, but you need to be able to do the things in your head to be like, it's all about judgments and making decisions and stuff like that. Saying it's not going to be an important skill is crazy.
Is EQ on that list?
Empathy and active listening. Maybe that's the clip. Hold on. Curiosity, motivation, resilience, flexibility, and agility. That has also come up quite good. That is an important. Obviously, because they're just flinging us left, right, and centre. Life is hard, so you got to be able to pivot. So empathy and active listening are on there, and they're kind of middle of the road. So on a scale of like, you can have anything from, some of these have some negative numbers here. So it's 100 to minus 100, but most of them don't have negative numbers. But here they've given it like empathy, like between 30 and 50. Okay. So, whereas compared to AI, which is like between 80 and 100. And then the one that's come out like the least is manual dexterity, endurance, and precision. So I guess that's all the physical things, building, like the cutting stuff. And the, being able to do stuff like that. For that. Do you think?
You still need humans to supervise that.
Like, yeah, but you don't need to be like manual dexterity. Listen, there's too many. Yeah, there's too many robots. Yeah. That's all come out like minus 46, minus 35. Marketing and media, very interesting. I kind of had like split views. So some are giving it middle of the road, like 20s, and others have just said it's just won't be important. But I think that's more to do with the industries. The industries that I've ranked it like most low is like mining, infrastructure, utilities.
Yeah, makes sense.
What else is on here that's interesting? Okay, the other one which came up really high is technological literacy. So understanding how technology works. What else is on it? Multilingualism. So being able to speak different languages was scored really low.
Really?
Yeah, I just think people think AI is going to solve everything, but I promise you,
it's not even just solve everything. People, you know, like how people are like, immigrants come over here, they take our job. That's how people are looking at AI. Like they think in the next they think in the next 2 years AI is going to come and take your job.
This is 2025 to 2030.
It's not going to take your job.
How are you saying multilingualism is not important?
Of course, it's important.
Like compared to all of these other skills,
how will global places, companies function without that?
I remember when I worked in like certain consulting environments. One of the places I worked, we did a lot of work with Japan, and I promise you, there's no AI that you're going to take and the Japanese people are going to take you seriously. Exactly. If you can't speak Japanese. obviously you can speak English.
Yeah,
and
but
stuff,
even
but
culturally, like they don't want to talk to a
you
machine.
can't use ChatGPT to bridge cultural gaps. Even if you don't speak Japanese, like even if there's one person in the team like that speaks Japanese, or you need it for diplomacy, like being able to share language or whatever. But I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that these are like British and American companies mainly who just don't rate language skills and expect everyone to speak English anyway.
Like, did you see that woman that she went to Greece? Was it Corfu? She went to, and she was basically in the newspaper saying that she wasn't served English food, and like she's never like traveling there again. Like it was just terrible. There was no English breakfast. Like
I really can't stand small-mindedness. When I was in recently I was in Dubai, but I went to Abu Dhabi as well. When we went to Abu Dhabi, we met some people, some Americans there that work on some sort of military base. I don't know, there's some Americans. And I ended up having this conversation which frustrated me so much because I was basically trying to explain that it's really important to like travel, I think, because you get exposed to lots of different cultures. And one of the things which I think sometimes if you're children of immigrants or from another country, you already have built in you is that the knowledge that there's different ways to do things. Because I know that at school we do things in a different way, but when we come, like we eat with cutlery, but at home I can eat panajam with my hands, or, you know, you might eat this, or you might go to church. Like I went to Catholic school, but then we also went to other church, and like just different ways to do things.
Yeah.
Like you have that kind of cultural appreciation or understanding that there's different ways, and you get more of that. And I just think it helps you to be wise, which is why, like, obviously your son travels a lot. Like he's going to have so much of that, and it's going to really help him. So
Amen.
I said that, and they were basically saying, well, in America, they have so many different climates that you don't need to leave. And I said, I get that. If you want to get, like, you can ski.
Yeah, because traveling is just about climate.
Exactly. Like, you can ski, you can have a beach holiday, you can do anything there. And I'm like, that is so true. It's like, and I love that for you. But it's all America. So even they was like, yeah, but there's different culture between New York and between Hawaii or whatever. And I was like,
it's still American culture.
And I was like, they didn't even said Hawaii. That's even proper different culture. But they're just like between New York and Boston. And they're saying you guys wouldn't even know that. And I said, I don't have to know that. It's your country. Like I don't expect Americans to know that there's a different culture between London and between Birmingham, or there's different you don't need to know that. It's not your country. If you come here and you get to learn it, then great.
Yeah.
But I don't need to know. I don't need to know about your country. And they was like, how could you not know about America? I'm like, America has obviously importance, but I don't need to know about your country because it's not my country. I don't need to know about the nuances. I might need to know some of the big stuff when my stock starts tanking, but I don't generally need to know. And it wasn't, it's like, what's not clicking? It was not clicking at all. And I just thought, like, the same way, like this woman, it's like, there's just some things they just don't click for some people. They don't get it.
Ignorance.
Like the idea, there was someone on TikTok and they were like, immigrants are coming and they can't speak English before they get here. And they need to be able to speak English to a certain degree. And I was like, some people in the comments and other people were saying, why do they need to learn how to speak English before they come here? There's lots of British people that go to Spain to live there. They move to all these different countries to don't speak Spanish. Why do you need to learn the language before you move there? I understand the benefits of it because it helps you to communicate, but you don't do it. Like, I just hate the small-mindedness. Yeah. Like, when, like, if like someone from a Muslim country, like, I don't know, if someone from Egypt came to the UK and said, I'm so sad, I'm annoyed they're not selling, like, Egyptian food, and it's hard for me to find Egyptian food, people would be so outraged. They're like, you're in England. Like, I can't stand ignorance. And what always shocks me is that, obviously, you work with, like, we could be working shoulder to shoulder. I mean, I definitely don't work with anyone like that. But we could be working shoulder to shoulder with these people, and it's like everybody's entitled to their own view, and they just pack us into the workplace together.
They do.
And I'm supposed to work with someone who's stupid like that.
Yeah.
It would just annoy me.
Oh, gosh, it's proper ignorant. It's just ignorance, and I'm glad that I'm not like that.
But some of these people, I always wonder, like, especially when they have, like, riots, or the people that are, you know, when they go on TV, or not even go on TV, they go on TikTok and they answer questions, or I'm like, and they're so comfortable with their opinion. So they obviously they think there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm always like, are you not afraid that people at work are going to see this? But then they make you think people at work probably think
the same way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
But they have to keep quiet.
Well, they don't. I remember, I don't know if I've mentioned on the pod before, but when I went on to comment to Thomas Cook, when we had the Brexit vote, I was on to comment at Thomas Cook, and their head office was in London in Aldersgate, in that Aldersgate building where the gym is, and they had another office in Peterborough. And the day, when we had the referendum, the day after when we got the result, it was so somber. I don't know if you.
It was the same as my office as well.
So somber in the head office where I was, but they had parties in Peterborough. They were waving flags, and they had the office had a party that people brought in treats, and I was like, this is the same company, and the CEO of Thomas Cook at the time was German, and he used to commute from Frankfurt to London. So he would come on a Monday and maybe leave on a Wednesday, and sometimes obviously it's London City, you can do it really quickly. And your CEO is German. He literally commutes to work from Germany, and
you're celebrating.
And it's the same company. I always just thought that's so strange, and it was the perfect example for me. That was the first time I was like, wow, we actually have different views. We can all, there's people in the HR team or in the tax team that sit in another office.
100%.
We actually have different views.
100%. I find that interesting. I've worked with Trump supporters, in previous roles, and it's mad. It's nuts.
When the thing is, generally when it comes to politics, even within the workplace, right? I'm generally someone I understand that there's different reasons that people vote for different things.
Yeah.
So I'm not really let's say you voted Tory, I don't like you, or I'm not like that, because I understand that there could be one thing. So I think I said before as well, if the Tory party came out and said, if we go into power, we're going to cancel all student debt, and people voted for them, I wouldn't judge those people.
Yeah.
I might think it's a bit short-sighted, but I would understand that feels like a lot to people, and so there's a reason that they're doing it. But when it comes to Trump, that's one I've just never been. I just don't get it. Maybe because I'm not, again, as invested in American politics as maybe other people, but I just don't get why people like Trump. He has never said one thing that I think, okay, that is, and follow. I just don't consume enough of his content. I don't get it.
I know why people like Trump.
Why?
Because he is for men being men and women being women. He's very traditional in that sense. And when you are anti-trans, LGBTQ, you're covering a lot of bases. You're covering pretty much almost every single religion. Trump is covering a lot of bases. So if you're covering that many bases, a lot of people are going to like you. They're going to be like, yeah, I believe that too. I stand for that too. That's a lot of people.
On the flip side, for instance,
he's pardoning a lot of people as well.
Listen, but how do I explain it? For instance, he doesn't have a lot of support from Muslims, and in theory, every religion, or I don't know, there could be some overlap, some intersectionality with some people who are Muslim, not obviously all, but some people are Muslim who might not agree with LGBT trans stuff, but they're still not going to vote for him because he hates them.
You say that, but look at the Mexicans.
Look at
the Mexicans. Trump don't like them, and look what they've gone and done. I think they played a major part in Trump winning.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get the appeal, and I just don't get. Okay, I know there's groups that he appeals to, but I don't know. I just don't get it.
I don't know if you guys can hear, but
no, they can't hear.
They can't hear.
It's fine. They won't hear.
Oh, okay.
They won't hear.
Chinchin's moaning, y'all. So I have a case, and it's about a solicitor who was working 3 different jobs, and it started in lockdown.
Loads of people were doing it. Loads of people were doing it.
Yeah, loads of people were doing it during lockdown, working loads of jobs. The job market was alive. It was thriving. It wasn't dark. It was bright, So, I'm sure loads of people take me back, And basically, this lawyer was working 3 different jobs.
A lawyer.
Yeah. Mrs. Sakadi. So obviously, when I saw the name, I said, you know, those people work hard anyway. So
that was in my head.
The 3 jobs is making sense. But basically, she was stricken off. And the reason why it was so severe is because she was putting in timesheets for these 3 different jobs, but it was over the same dates and the same hours. And obviously, you can't be working. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the Ghanaian, but most of us, like logically and practically, you can't work 3 different jobs.
And you do time and
do the same hours.
You do timesheets when you work in law or professional services. Like you actually build time.
Yeah, you build time. Yeah,
you build time. Chinchin's here, guys. I don't know if you can see her, but she's a bit on one. But you build time to clients, and that's how you get paid. So maybe she actually was doing hours, but different times. That's the grace that I can give her. But obviously, you can't work 21 hours in a day or 24 hours in a day.
And you can't put that you were working at 4 a.m. or, do you know what I mean? It just looks stupid. So,
and it's all governed by the SRA.
Yeah.
By the SRA. So
yeah. So that's where it went to the Solicitor Disciplinary Tribunal, and she's been stricken off, so she can't practice anymore. You know, but there was a lot of I remember.
I hope she made her money in the time, boy.
How long was she doing it for? Just a year, not long.
And she lost her. But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes these things are not worth it.
It's not worth it, yeah.
It's not 3 jobs.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like,
that's greedy, you know.
It's greedy. We're talking like with being a solicitor.
You're not poor.
And also, you're on the register. They have a register. Like, are you on the register 3 times?
Yeah.
It's actually very easy to get caught. You have to give before you can practice, you have to give your SRA number. Anyone can look you up. I wonder how she got caught. Maybe someone tried to look her up and it said that she worked at a different law firm.
Maybe. But it's so interesting because I remember during that time, well, not during that time, but just after, I remember seeing a lot of cases where people were getting in trouble because they were working. Sorry, Chinchin's like rubbing up on my foot.
She's just a rug.
Oh my gosh.
Chinchin! Anyway, sorry guys.
Yeah. There were a lot of episodes. Nah, Chinchin's distracting me. The episodes. I'm actually tired and Chinchin's like pulling on my trouser. Yeah, there were a lot of cases where people were like working loads of jobs, basically.
We did one actually. There was one with like a local authority and then the person was off sick. But he was off sick, do you remember? And he was working at the other local authority. Yeah. And then he was like CC'd into an email and the 2 local authorities were talking and he was CC'd into an email. So, yeah, that's sad. But I guess with being a solicitor, it's all about trust and all of that stuff. So if you do something to breach the ethics, which feels like you're billing time that you're not working, you will be struck off.
Yeah.
But do you remember we had that one recently where the guy had to pay the 15K fine, and he was very racist and he wasn't struck off.
That's true.
So I wonder what it is. It's like, I guess that is sort of like stealing. Maybe there's like a ranking. It's like stealing from your clients, bad. Being racist to your colleagues, it's not great.
But to your own, tricking your own.
It's not great.
Tricking your own
is not as bad.
Not good.
But I guess it's what would undermine confidence in the profession. Would your confidence in the profession be undermined if the person was racist? I mean, who's not a little bit racist these days? That's what they'll think.
It's true, but yeah, it's terrible because that's her whole livelihood now.
I don't know. Do I feel sorry for her?
Yes and no, because loads of people were doing it, but at the same time,
risk as a solicitor,
your profession.
If you're working in a little local authority,
it's different.
Not a little local authority, but if they fire you,
the consequences are not the same.
You can go and get another job. Yeah. You're not going to be struck off.
But yeah, with that profession, like solicitors, lawyers, doctors, you can't be taking risks like that. Like your whole livelihood will be affected. Like you won't be able to do what you went to uni for all those years. Like that's just crazy. And that's what's happened, all for money. It was literally greed. That's all it can be in that situation, because you don't need 3 jobs to survive when you're a solicitor. You're making good money. One is fine. Exactly. Yeah. You're making enough money. Like you don't need 3. So especially in London, like she was in, I can't remember where she was, but it wasn't like far away. So you're making decent money, sis. And now look, I wonder what she's doing now though. Like, where do you go? She could do ER. If she was in employment law.
Maybe she's gone to Ghana to practice. If she's not struck.
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, guys, you can see Chinchin is looking like, when are we wrapping this thing up? So like, comment, subscribe.
That's a wrap, guys.
Bye.
Bye.